We're almost there. Quiet down, everyone.
Hello, game fans! Hearthstone is fantastic, and I have lost many hours to it. However, with recent price hikes and updates, it has definitely made me rethink my addiction. I'm not jumping on the backlash bandwagon, as I still really enjoy it and I do not foresee myself quitting anytime soon. Needing a break, however, I decided to look at other online card games to fill the void, from shameless clones to themes not yet used in collectible card games. I haven't yet settled on a replacement, but I have looked at a number of possible alternatives to Hearthstone. Magic Duels. Magic the Gathering regularly releases digital versions of its offline card game. This year is no different, with a refreshed roster of all new stars. However, with Hearthstone gathering momentum, Magic the Gathering has switched to a freemium model and is now reinventing itself as a digital locker rather than a standalone game. Each game is a duel between yourself and an opposing planeswalker. Planeswalkers are like Jedi who have dominion over the multiverse and its creatures and all the magical force that binds it all together. Each player has 20 health, and through the placement of various cards, the aim is simple: take 20 damage from the opposing planeswalker and revel in your victory. The initial tutorials can be tiresome for some card playing veterans, as it feels like it targets first time players. However, if you make it through all of the hand holding and the ropey cutscenes, it becomes fun and a viable alternative to Hearthstone. Spellweaver. Developed by a Magic the Gathering Grand Champion in partnership with Dream Reactor, Spellweaver is a free-to-play digital card game true to the classics of the genre. Those familiar with Magic the Gathering will be able to get stuck in right away. However, there are various options to break in new players. Sadly, the starter packs are limited and there is a lot of pay-to-win options. For those who see themselves dedicating a lot of time on Spellweaver, there are two box options for around £50 and £100, which gives you hundreds of pounds worth of packs and drip feeds you additional cards on a weekly basis. If you're a hardcore player, then this is a great value for money because you get around £500 worth of content for about £100. A great option for hardcore players, but a very daunting option for new players hoping to enter the tournaments. Whilst this looks very similar to the tabletop card game, the online version allows for greater depth and complexity and might be a little bit overwhelming for players new to CCGs. Eternal, the card game. Brought to you by Direwolf, the creators of the Elder Scrolls card game, Eternal beautifully merges aspects of both Hearthstone and Magic the Gathering. From the card design to the deck building, there is a lot of borrowed aspects. However, the addition of 5 factions that include Time, Primal, Shadow, Justice and Fire can be used in a normal 75 card deck. The life count starts at 25, and like most CCGs, the aim is to beat the 25 out of your opponent. What I love about Eternal is the generous amount of content available at the free-to-play level, with a fully realised campaign with AI opponents and both real PvP and draft PvP options. It's great fun to play, fast-paced, and has monopolised more time than anything else on this list. Star Crusade. Dubbed as Hearthstone in Space, Star Crusade War for the Expanse is a free-to-play card game based in a richly styled sci-fi universe. Players take control of one of the 6 factions vying for supremacy in an unclaimed exotic sector of space. Factions are unlocked by beating them in a match, and they all play very differently. The story is engaging, and a lot of effort has been put into the backstory and the world building. One aspect that is pretty unique is that custom decks can have between 25 and 40 cards, and your health is dependent on the number of cards you hold. Therefore, you can play the standard game type with a health of around 25, or you could play with a bigger deck, lowering your chance of certain cards coming up. Due to the different factions and playstyles, there are many routes to victory, and you can get a good feel for the game whilst not investing a lot of money. The biggest draw of Star Crusade is the setting, as I am a huge sci-fi fan and it's great to see this theme in the CCGs. Shadowverse. Shadowverse is a Japanese card game with a beautiful anime art style, packed full of your typical anime ladies. These 7 classes include Forestcraft, Swordcraft, Runecraft, Dragoncraft, Shadowcraft, Bloodcraft, and Havencraft. Each craft has their own set of people and creatures, from fairies in the Forestcraft to huge winged dragons in Dragoncraft. The cards have a special ability called Evolve, which allows players to evolve the cards in your deck to more powerful versions of themselves. The 400 plus cards each have special effects and an array of different voice acting. The story mode is a simple way to learn the ropes and become familiar with the UI, and once you feel more comfortable, you can enter the PvP arena. Game wait time is minimal, indicating that there is a growing community around the world. One of my favourite parts of Shadowverse is the user interface and its multitude of animations, from the simple card flips all to spectacular level up explosions. Solforge. Born from the co-creators of Ascension and Magic the Gathering, Solforge boasts the strategy and depth of a traditional trading card game experience, all designed around the convenience of mobile gaming. In Solforge, you take on the role of a Forgeborn, one of the select few who can wield the magic of the Solforge itself. You collect cards that represent ferocious creatures and powerful spells, and use those cards to construct decks and battle AI opponents or test your skills against other players in the arena. The play takes place in this 2-lane field, and the cards fall into 2 different categories: spells and creatures. Each player has 120 health points, and as with other CCGs, the aim is to reduce your opponent's health to 0. Like Pokemon, each card has 3 different levels that will increase from the starter creature to the buffed up Super Beast. Whilst I like the artwork, it would be so much better if there was more animation in this one. So of all the various card games mentioned above, my 2 favourites had to be Star Crusade and Eternal, and have seriously pulled me away from Hearthstone. So whether or not you are simply after something new, or if you have an issue with all the price changes in Hearthstones, these games are well worth your time, and as they are free to play, you won't lose anything by simply dipping your toe in and trying them out. So if you like Hearthstone, if you've been pulled away to another CCG, then please let me know in the comments, and if this has been useful, then please give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll be back with another video very soon.
Finish him!